Saga. And as always, I'm your host, Eugene, and the other host,
It's Jose.
And we're here with episode number 3. We've made it. We've made it to 3, Jose. I'm excited.
I didn't think we'll get this far.
Well, I mean, we actually, had people listen to us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy. It's amazing. Our first podcast, we had, I don't even know how many we had. I stopped looking after like 5 people, which was awesome. I was just excited about that.
Well, last time I checked, we had 52 views. We're up there. I'm like, who watches
Episode
this?
2? I don't know, man. But yeah, I mean, who's watching us? I clicked on it. Yeah, I was like, I clicked on it once, and I was like, oh, hey, I'm one of the numbers. And I was like, I had to look for something else because it was when you said that the comments were on there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I clicked on it again, and I'm like, oh, shoot, that's me. So I think 2 of those views are me. So we're going to scratch that out. So let's just say we had like 50 on the first episode, which still is pretty exciting for me.
It is.
I'm glad you that are out there enjoyed it. Hope you have been coming back for more of these episodes. And yeah, I mean, it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are, episode 3. I'm on the road, which is kind of a normal thing for me. And so signal might cut in and out, which is going to suck. Sound might sound a little bad, which, sorry. So we're going to just kind of go power through it. We're going to talk about a couple of things. We may be able to get to the next episode of Smallville. If not, save for episode 4. Which, is cool because we've got a lot of stuff to talk about on this episode, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot.
Well,
Where do we start?
Hold up right there. And let me start off by saying, let's get ready for some Geek Gossip. All right, so let's get started with the biggest one, or not the biggest one, but let's get started with a little tidbit that's about Spider-Man 3.
All right, cool.
This is what you brought to me, so I don't know much about it, but let's talk about it.
All right, cool.
So, what is it?
So, Spider-Man 3 is looking to be one of the most insane movies with all the rumors that are surrounding it. I mean, there is just a list of people that they're bringing in and being tied to Doctor Strange Part 2, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So the newest news that's come out in the last couple of days is that both Alfred Molina's Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2, which was directed by Sam Raimi, and which was weird because you wouldn't think that you would put these two together in an announcement, or not announcement, but in the rumor mill, is Charlie Cox's Daredevil from the Netflix TV show. So I don't know how much truth this is, but I hope that it's true. That out of all the Netflix series, the Daredevil was the one that I was on board with. I watched all the series, watched some of Iron Fist. Never finished it. I never finished it, and I got rid of Netflix. So I was like, watched some of Luke Cage, and same thing. Wasn't really on board. Punisher was good. Like the Punisher.
I love the Punisher. But then again, I'm a huge fan of the Punisher, so yeah, I love that one.
Jessica Jones, I saw the series of that one. That was another one that the first season was great. Second season, but I really, really did love the first season of Jessica Jones, and but yeah, having Daredevil come back, to me, Daredevil was like, that was they had some epic fight scenes that were gritty, and like you felt how tired this guy was. Like I think it was episode. I want to say episode 2 of the first season. That hallway scene. I think it was episode 3. I can't remember.
I think it was episode 2.
Okay, episode 2.
He was in all black.
Yeah, and he goes in there, and man, it's edited so it looks like it's one solid take. Oh my gosh, that right there was like, this show, if it continues to do so, and the following season, it had the hallway, not the hallway, the stairwell. After he runs into the Punisher, and he goes down that stairwell with a gun taped to his hand. Oh my gosh, that was amazing too. And so I am on board. If this is how they introduce back, because I think they're going to get the rights to Daredevil soon. I'm not sure on all that legal and rights and property, whatever they got going on over there between Disney and Netflix, whatever it is. It's just too much for me. But I know I've heard things that it's almost up, and there's a hashtag Save Daredevil that's been going around since the cancellation of the series, and so I'm on board with this, man. I'm really on board with having Charlie Cox be a part of the MCU again, and to actually be on the big screen. I think they should have did that way earlier, but I'm on board with this.
I would love to see that, because just like you, Daredevil I love Daredevil show. Granted, I love the Punisher show more, but like I said, I'm partial to the Punisher. But Charlie Cox did an amazing job. The fight scenes, everything about it was just awesome. Mm-hmm. So to hear that, that's an awesome thing. To hear Tobey Maguire coming back to Spider-Man,
Toby Mac. But yeah, along with that news of Charlie Cox and Alfred Molina possibly part of this growing list of characters, they have Andrew Garfield his name being thrown around, Tobey Maguire being thrown around as possible being in the movie itself. I'm looking at this website called InsideTheMagic.net. So again, take it with a grain of salt. But if you go to Google and you type in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and you look up the cast of that show, this is a list of the people that I have on this page right here on this webpage. It's Benedict Cumberbatch, of course, as Doctor Strange. Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff. Okay, I'm going to butcher his name. Chiwetel Ejiofor as Baron Mordo. Tobey Maguire. Benedict Wong as Wong. Andrew Garfield. Ryan Reynolds is the name that sticks out like a sore thumb right here. Rachel McAdams as Dr. Christine, forgot her last name, and Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One. And so that's on Google's page for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Ryan Reynolds do not have what they're playing, but they're on that page. So I don't know. Again, this is rumors that are going around. Kind of amazing that they have that. I just looked it up too right now. You go to Google, type in the name, you go to cast list, and you view it, and it pops up. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, actually on the page that I'm looking at, are actually above Benedict Cumberbatch, which is like, all right. And Tom Hiddleston is also in here on this page that I'm looking on. So you have Tom Hiddleston, Loki.
Which I could see that happening, which goes along with the next thing we'll talk about,
mm-hmm.
the Loki show.
Yeah.
So I could see.
Yeah.
Hearing Ryan Reynolds' name thrown into the mix, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
It sticks out like a sore thumb. But what if this is just me throwing out something, spitballing, whatever you want to call it, being hopeful? What if they were to bring him in as freaking Deadpool, because we do know, for those of you that follow the comic book, he did get his belt, which allows him to jump between the multiverses. And at one time, he was wreaking havoc through them all. And also through, I forgot which series it was, where he was the one that pretty much saved the multiverse because he had the belt to jump around.
Yeah, I can see that. You have Loki, who has the Tesseract again. You have Doctor Strange with the Eye of Agamotto. You have Ryan Reynolds possibly being able to jump between time and dimensions. So you have like these three different things that they could pull from and just be like, any one of these is the reason why.
Yeah. And it'd be a great way to bring Deadpool into the actual MCU instead of just having him kind of on his own like he has been.
Yeah.
And also remember that just recently, the Deadpool movies have been brought to Hulu.
Yeah. Which is, I think they're testing it out because Disney owns a huge stake in Hulu after they bought out Fox, because they had a stake in it just under ABC. But as soon as they bought out Fox, they got a huge chunk of it. And this was something that people had been speculating, that Hulu would probably be the place to put kind of like the more adult shows, so to speak. And having Deadpool on there kind of lends to that.
And also Hellstorm, which, if you don't know, people out there, is a Marvel comic. And it's just recently, they just put out that series, which I've only watched one episode of it, and it wasn't too bad. I'm not that familiar with the Hellstorm comic book, so I can't say whether it's lining up with it, but I'm now it's kind of piqued my interest. I want to actually read some of the comics and then watch the show. So hey, again, this could be Disney's way of dabbling into their stuff that they could put into Hulu. Daredevil.
Yeah. You know, and there is a lot more going, like, in terms of like just Doctor Strange. I just looked up something right now to verify, but Marvel Studios on their Twitter just put up this: John Watts will direct the new feature film for Marvel's first family, Fantastic Four. And that was December 10th, 2020. They just put that up. This is on the Verge. This is on the Verge's website.
Let's hope that they don't screw up Fantastic Four again.
Yes.
I mean, I'd rather watch the Roger Corman's version of Fantastic Four than any of the other versions that have been put out.
Oh, this guy's IMDb is weird. All right, let's see.
What did this guy do? Okay, I've never even heard of him.
He did Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man Homecoming, Cop Car, Clown, Clay Pride, Being Clay. Is this Being Clay in America? Creative Control, I Can See You, and a bunch of other films that I've never seen. The Invisible Dog.
So basically, the only movies that we've ever seen about from him are Spider-Man, Far From Home, and Homecoming. All right.
Yeah, well, and so, but he's doing, I think he's doing the new one too, the Spider-Man 3.
Well, I mean, he hasn't done a bad job with those Spider-Man movies, so.
Oh, he's the one that's doing it. They're giving it to him. So, okay. I mean, geez. I mean, they can't do worse, though. That's the only thing. Like, they can't do worse.
Well, bring in somebody like what's his face? Homeboy that started off Solo.
Yeah.
See, he's so bad that I don't even want to remember his name.
Then they just introduced that they're also going to bring in Gore the God Butcher. If you guys never heard that name, it's okay. But he's big in terms of like the Thor's storyline. He basically is able to kill all the gods. He uses this thing called the all black necro sword, able to behead. What he did, using the head of a killed celestial, they forged the sword. He gives him a ton of his powers though. He can fly. He has a shroud of the berserker constructed. In terms of Thor's storyline, really bad. He, if I remember right, he's the reason why Thor becomes unworthy when what's his name whispers in Thor's ear and Thor can't pick up the hammer. It has to do with Gore. This the whole thing with Gore. Yeah, he was the one. Gore tells Thor that the gods, that their time was over. Nick Fury, when they're fighting on the moon, whispers in Thor's ear that Gore was right. And in doing so, it rocked Thor, and he wasn't able to lift the hammer anymore. And then we get, I don't know, the female Thor, or I forget however they refer to her. But yeah, they which is, Natalie Portman is gonna play her that version of Thor. And so that's cool though, having Christian Bale be I think he play that kind of a character, the God Butcher.
Yeah, I can see him doing that. And then it also leads to, because another name on that list is Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
Which also lends to the Loki show that's going to be coming out, which we might as well, because a lot of this is still tied in with the next thing that we're going to talk about, which is a huge thing that Disney Plus put out. I saw it first with the trailer that was on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it was a quick trailer showing all the shows coming. And I was like, holy crap. Oh, I was getting really excited. And then I saw on, I believe it was Star Wars Online, which is somebody that I follow on Instagram, that there are 10 shows in that list that are all Star Wars shows that will be coming out.
Yeah.
Which got me really excited because I still love the MCU, but they've kind of gone astray. Hearing this news from you about the next Spider-Man movie and also the next Doctor Strange movie got me a little excited. But I was still super excited about these next 10 things that Disney's going to put out that is all Star Wars related. And we'll talk a little bit about the other shows that Disney Plus is going to be doing. But this is the biggest thing.
Yeah, so we have, starting with Rangers of the New Republic. It's what does it say? Disney plans to expand upon their popular show story with 2 new companion shows by Mandalorian creator Jon Favreau and co-writer director Dave Filoni, and it's Rangers of the New Republic. So it's going to follow, possibly, this is again rumors, that this might be the show that they refer to that might have Cara Dune in it.
Which, if you guys are caught up to Mandalorian, which I'm only one episode behind now, but I did watch that episode where there was some sort of hint towards Gina Carano's character, Cara Dune, being this, I guess you could now say, Ranger of the New Republic, because she's handed a badge that has the Rebel symbol on it, and the X-Wing pilot, who's are they supposed to be just like off? They're like police officers, I guess.
Yeah, basically that's what they're doing. They're patrolling the whole area. They make her almost like a sheriff of the town that she's in.
Yeah,
and
which
so
the townspeople were already calling her Marshall. Which, spoiler alerts, I'm sorry if you guys haven't watched it. Catch up to this. You've had plenty of time. If you're waiting to binge watch it, well,
that's your fault.
Yeah. But yeah, they hinted at that. She was already being called Marshall. So this first one may possibly be her. They've already been kind of hinted at.
And the next one is Ahsoka. That's all it's referred to as Ahsoka, and it's going to be Ahsoka Tano, and she'll be played by Rosario Dawson. Which, again, these out of all the shows that were announced, these are the ones that I was like, okay, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau are involved. So I'm more on board with these. Some of the others, I was like, I don't know about all that one, but whatever. But these two, I'm definitely on board with.
Well, there's also Kenobi show.
Yeah, Kenobi, which has been in development chaos. So it could be good. Hope it is. I really do. I think getting Ewan McGregor back, it was a great idea. It's under the term an event series, so it's not going to be at least this is because they don't know how it's going to go, but I don't think it's slated to be more than just a one-off. They're going to do a bunch of these kind of one-off things, both Marvel and for Star Wars. They have these events, what they refer to as event series. It's going to bring back Ewan McGregor. It's 10 years after the Revenge of the Sith. The rumor that I've been hearing about it is Hayden Christensen is going to be involved somehow in this series.
Yeah, which that's the part that I'm like, oh.
I mean, dude, I'm Hayden's back, baby. I'm on board. Or whenever Hayden's back, I'm on board. That's why you
got flat butt over as Captain Marvel that you're like, ugh. I got freaking Hayden over here on my side that I'm just like, oh, God, no.
Dude.
I just recently watched the first three. I had to stomach the first three with my daughter because she hadn't seen them all and she wants to do a Star Wars thing where we're seeing all the movies. So I had to power through 2 movies with Hayden Christian.
Nah, man.
And I was just like,
one of the things that the sequel trilogy did was make me like the prequel trilogy more. Before I was like, they're not that good. Jar Jar Binks is annoying, and then you introduce like all these random characters that don't even matter. Maz Kanata, like I'd rather have Jar Jar Binks and at least him be an actual character than Maz Kanata, who comes in and is like, here's a bunch of stuff, and then you never see her except for like a small cameo later on. Like they didn't know how to even do side characters right in the sequel trilogy, and so me and like my kids, we watch it and we do it just to laugh, to look at like where all like these memes come from, that all the Star Wars prequel memes. There's so many of them, and so just like the whole thing that Ewan McGregor looks like Jesus, and there's like so many memes of like people actually giving this picture of Ewan McGregor to like their grandparents and saying like, yeah, it's a picture of Jesus, I bought it for you, and they're like, oh, and the grandparents hanging it up in the house. Dude, it's amazing. And so we've actually come to like not say that they're great movies, but we do definitely appreciate them better than the sequel trilogy. And so especially how creepy Anakin Skywalker and Padme are with each other. Like, dude, like if you do like a game where we did a where we were drinking like hot chocolate or something. We did the drinking games. Whenever Anakin or Padme are creepy, you take a drink, dude. Everyone had to pee like halfway in the movie, like because they are really creepy for each other. Everyone's like Anakin's pretty bad. Not, I don't know. Like Padme is also has some cringy moments there.
Oh, dude, my own daughter, who is 10 years old, she'll be 11. Yeah, she's coming up on her 11. Was asking, how old is she supposed to be, and how old is he? I was all like, I don't really know, but it's just wrong. And this is from
8 years
episode
apart.
1.
Yeah, I think they're about 8 years apart. I think they said that she's supposed to be 16 and he's supposed to be 8, or something around that kind of. It's supposed to be like eight at the most 10-year difference between the two.
Yeah, that's kind of what I told her. That's what I figured. But oh gosh, dude.
So that means if he's 18 in Clone Wars, she's close to like 28 years old.
26.
Dude.
20, yeah, 26, 28.
Yeah, she's just like, hey, little boy. It gets creepy. Like I said, like it gets creepy. Like when you start thinking about it, like they said, like Palpatine watched his career with great interest, but so did she.
All right, so we've got Ahsoka, we've got the Rangers, we've got Kenobi.
Then we've
got another one that I'm looking forward to, which is it's going to be animated, of course. Bad Batch.
Oh, the Bad Batch, yes.
That I'm definitely looking forward to.
And this is basically a spin-off of Clone Wars. The Bad Batch was in the newest season of Clone Wars. Well, the last season of Clone Wars. Yeah. They kind of took like the first half of it, I think, if I remember right. And they're hilarious, dude. It reminds me of that. What's it? I can't remember the name. It's like, what is it? Battlefield? Yeah, Battlefield. The Bad Company series, where it's just like a group of idiots. And I own both of them, Bad Company and Bad Company 2, and dude, they're like that was my favorite Battlefield games. And that's what the Bad Batch remind me of. Bad Batch remind me of Bad Company. And that's another one. Again, has a lot to do with Filoni. It has a lot to do with Favreau. So that's why I'm more on board. But then you get this right here. What is it? Andor. He in Rouge One. He played Cassian Andor.
That's right.
So that's who it is. So this is his story leading up to that, which
I wish I could have. They could have shown more of him. And
yeah,
I guess I can get behind a show with him in it, but I don't know about a show just about him.
Well, it's like the whole group that he was with going up until things are Rogue One. The only thing that I'm kind of like, okay, I might be on board, is that he was partnered up with K2SO, which was played by Alan Tudyk.
Troy.
Yeah. If I remember right, I haven't watched that movie.
It was Alan Tudyk. Who played the voice, which I absolutely thought he was hilarious.
Yeah, and so if I remember right, they were partnered together. Yeah, because they rescued. So if it's a series about him and Alan Tudyk is a part in there, then I'm on board. I'm on board if they bring back Tudyk. Star Wars, listen to me.
I love.
Bring me Tudyk.
No. Not just Star Wars. Dave. Hey. Can I call you Dave? I if not Mr. Filoni, please bring back Alan Tudyk.
Yes. Tudyk. I don't care what he does. Just bring him back.
2021, man.
I need
2022, whatever the show is supposed to be.
He needs to be in more everything. He needs to be in everything.
Yes.
He should be
Yes,
in every one of these episodes. Every series that we're talking about, he needs to be involved somehow. I don't care.
Yes.
And so Tudyk for Star Wars. So that's that. Cassian. So it's a how do they
I think we should make T-shirts with that. Tudyk for Star Wars, and then on the back have Geek Saga.
This is Geek Saga. It says, what is it supposed to be? It's a thriller. It's how this is what it how it's the little synopsis. It's a TV series spun off from the Star Wars standalone film Rogue One. It's a thriller directed by Tony Gilroy, who also co-wrote it. That's coming out 2022. So all of these two are like 2020, the end of 2021 or 2022. All of these shows that they announced. I'm looking at like it's either Christmas 2021, 2021, 2022. There's Rogue Squadron, which is being directed by Patty Jenkins, who directed Wonder Woman, and that's slated to hit Christmas 2023.
That I can kind of get behind if they make sure that it's Wedge. And I'm not saying I know Wedge is now old and stuff, but they get somebody that's young to play Wedge Antilles, who was the leader of the Rogue Squadron.
Yes.
They do that, I'm on board. If they try to pull some of this crap where it's like, oh, it's the new Rogue Squadron and it's, such and such, it's like, nah.
No, unless it's Alan Tudyk.
Yes.
Then I'm on board. Patty Jenkins, listen. Mrs. Jenkins. Listen.
Mrs. Jenkins, with all due respect, Mrs. Jenkins.
Mrs. Jenkins.
Is it Mrs. or Miss?
I don't know. We'll go Miss to be safe. Miss.
Okay.
Miss Jenkins.
Miss. Yes.
You need to put Alan Tudyk in your movie. I don't care what he is. I don't care what he does. I don't care if he is the leader of the Rogue Squadron. He plays Wedge Antilles.
Yes.
Alan Tudyk is Wedge Antilles in the Rogue Squadron movie.
I'm on board.
Now I'm on board. I sold myself on this movie now.
Did you? Hey, by chance, which you probably did it because it was on the short-lived Comic-Con channel. But did you hear of his show, Con Man?
Yeah, I did.
Dude, so I watched it, and I freaking loved it. I wish he would have done more. It was hilarious. It was him
good, man.
playing kind of himself and going to Comic-Cons, but was always in the shadow of the lead man of the show that he was on. And the leading man happened to be, what's his face? See, look at that. I'm like, I think I'm getting old. Forgetting names. Nathan Fillion.
Okay.
So even in the show, Nathan appears and kind of overshadows him even at the cons, and it always pisses him off. But he still loves him. It's hilarious. It was a great show, and there was always when they went to the cons, there was always one dude that was like dressed up as the weird. It was like a Mexican dude that he would have in each episode, but always dressed up in the most weird costumes possible. Like one, he was like a fairy with a full-on tutu on. It was funny. You're always looking out for this one dude because he was always going to be dressed weird. It was fun. But again, Tudyk 2022.
Yes, Tudyk. We need all like Alan Tudyk in everything. Next.
I'm serious, dude. I'm gonna make a shirt. I'm gonna make them for us.
Tudyk for started.
It's Tudyk for Star Wars. And if anybody's out there and wants one of those, hit me up because I will make them. Yep. I will do it.
And if you don't know who Alan Tudyk is, you need to watch Firefly. It's on Hulu or Amazon Prime. I think it's Hulu. I think I saw it on Hulu.
Yeah, it is. It's on Hulu.
Yeah, and Serenity. To get a good idea of who what you said after you watch it. But like, and then if you watch Rogue One, he was the droid KS-20.
if you watched Wreck-It Ralph,
Yeah.
he was Candy King.
Yeah.
He was a voice.
So more to it.
Yes.
Okay. So we have
Right.
what else is on like slated to come out? There is.
What is that show? Visions or not Visions? Is it Visions?
I don't know.
Star Wars.
There's
I
another.
read it. It was just like it talked about. It was like it was shorts. So I was like,
okay, here it is. There's another Star Wars project in development, included more animated series, a mini series about Lando Calrissian.
saw that.
Okay, a mystery thriller called The Acolyte, which is just avoid that one. Never mind. It's helmed by what was her name, Leslie Headland. So just avoid that one. Never mind. And then a droid story starring C-3PO and R2-D2. I bet anything Golden Tony is going to be a part of it, dude. If Golden Tony is not in that show, then they fail because Golden Tony is always in anything that has to do with C-3PO.
Yeah. Well, which I saw that and I was, is it going to be a live action or animated?
This just says animated. It's a group that and it seems, this says other Star Wars projects in development include more animated series, and it lists these three. Lando Calrissian, The Acolyte, and a droid story. I don't know if these are supposedly animated. It just says that they're referenced in the animated series block. So it could be.
So if you're not as old as me, you won't remember this, which I'm sure Jose, you remember it.
Yes.
If you're not a true Star Wars fan, you wouldn't remember. But the droids actually had their own cartoon, and it was in a block with the Ewoks. Where the Ewoks actually talked. Yeah. And you can look, you can go online, go onto YouTube, and you can look up droids and see, I've seen the intro online, and it was on YouTube. And it was
1985.
About, yes.
1985 ran for one season.
Which I was sad to see it go. Because I was a huge Star Wars fan.
Anthony Daniels was in it.
Yes.
Freaking Golden Tony, dude. That guy's gonna be buried in that suit, isn't he? And that's what it's gonna be on his headstone. It's not gonna be Anthony Daniels. It's gonna be C-3PO. Because I don't even think.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be just. This is gonna have a statue of 3PO right there.
Golden statue above where he's buried. Because he played C-3PO more than he actually did Anthony Daniels.
Dude, he probably walks around his house and he's all like, I'm C-3PO. It's like, what?
Human cyborg relations.
Oh, man. So, that is the lineup that Disney dropped today. Yeah. On top of, they're showing, of course, we're going to have Falcon and Winter Soldier. There was a trailer in there for that. I'm excited. All politics aside, I don't care what people believe. You know, if it's a quality show, that's all I care about. And it looks cool. It looks cool so far.
It does. From the trailer that they showed, it looks good. From the rumors that I've heard, I'm scared.
That's not a good thing. It looks good.
I think I will watch at least the first. I always watch the first like 2 episodes because that gives you a good idea of like what the direction a show's going, and then after that, if I'm not picked up by the second episode, I'll drop it. But if I watch the first 2 and see what. And again, this was like, this one's actually going to come out. When is it? Yeah, soon. They actually don't have an actual date though. Well, Loki does though.
Yeah, so it's also it's Winter Soldier or Falcon and Winter Soldier. Loki's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Wanda and Vision. That show's going to be dropping soon.
So May 2021 is where they have Loki. That's the date they have tentatively, I guess.
And then on top of that, I know you have the list in front of you. What else is Disney bringing out? Because that video that I saw flashed so many names out there. I was like, holy crap, Disney is putting out a lot in the next 2 years.
So we have those are like the three like main that they already have. They have trailers, they have full sizzle reel. You kind of even get like the bit of a story going in some of them. But we also have the What If series, and this is okay for a lot of people that like, what is that? What does it mean? The What If series was a series of volumes of comic books in which the writers would explore some like strange things. And it was through the eyes of Uatu the Watcher. There were like these big old giant headed dudes that lived on the moon, and they saw all of the universe and multiverse, and they were literally just watchers. They were not allowed to interact with it, but they were allowed to observe it, and they knew everything.
Which,
and
if you guys remember, in was it Guardians 2?
Yeah.
They flew past the Watchers who were talking to Stan Lee, which that put a little rumor out there that it was possible that Stan Lee was one of the Watchers because you see him in all the movies.
Yeah. The publication, the initial 40, it was a 47 issue series, and it ran originally from 77 to 84, 1977 to 1984. And the first one was what if Spider-Man had joined the Fantastic Four? And it presented a version of the Amazing Spider-Man issue 1 in which he gets the powers, but at the same time is discovered by Reed Richards and joins the team. And that was the first What If. There was many of them. There was a number 24 is what if Gwen Stacy had lived. Spoilers alert. She dies in the comic books at the hand of the Green Goblin. And this was the one
I had a couple of issues myself.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the one in particular was, what if Frank Castle never was the Punisher?
Mm.
That was an interesting one where his family still died, but yet he was a cop.
Mm-hmm. Just the normal. They had one of them I remember is what happens if Aunt May would have died instead of Uncle Ben. And that was a really cool one. Because the whole thing that Spider-Man goes through, his whole origin story, is the death of Uncle Ben, who was the one that told him that with great power comes with great responsibility. And it was his death that kind of solidified that mantra for him. This one was Aunt May, who he wasn't really close to. He didn't hate her, but he was just not close with her, and she died. But he still get bit by the spider. Like, what happens to him? And kind of a better hero because he actually he tells Uncle Ben.
He has the guidance of Uncle Ben.
Then there is what if Spider-Man was a girl, and it was Mayday Parker, the introduction of her, which is to me the better of the female Spider. They have Gwen Stacy, and they have Petra Parker, and they have his daughter, I forgot her name, but Mayday Parker was actually really good, and she actually got her spin-off series from that What If.
It would be a really cool animated series because
It is an animated series.
Doing that. Okay, so I couldn't see them doing that live action because that's a lot.
Yeah, it's an animated series, and the trailer, because they have a trailer out, and it shows that it's through the eyes of the Watcher, and but I don't know. I don't feel the storyline except for one. The first one was that they showed. I think if I remember the clips, was what happens if Peggy Carter got the super soldier serum and she becomes, I think, Captain Britain. And I was like, and I think it's what's her face is playing her still. So I'm on board with that. More of her too. More of her. More of her, and more of Tudyk. Who played Peggy Carter?
Tudyk.
Who played Peggy Carter? Can't remember her name right now.
I can't remember her name, but I can see her face.
Well, that doesn't help me.
Well,
Haley Atwell. Haley Atwell.
Yes.
And I think she is actually doing the voice work for I think it's Captain Britain, and I'm on board. The other one was like what happens if, you know, instead of Yondu going to whatever, like Illinois, wherever you found Peter Quill, he looked like he went to like Wakanda. He just picked up a random kid, and so I'm like, that's not a what if, dude. Like that's just like that's just a swap of like thing. Like the what if series was to be what happens if a known storyline drastically changed. It would be like, what if Peter Quill never got on the ship? That would have been a what if. He's just living in Illinois as an alien or whatever, wherever he lived at, Indiana, and Kurt Russell's his dad. Like, there's always like, it was always like a huge like deviation from the main origin story or a major event in the comic book series. And so I don't know if that's going to be good. Like, it would have been like, what happens if Bucky Barnes would have lived and Steve Rogers died or something like that. Like, that should have been like a what if. They one of the scenes though did introduce like the Marvel zombies though, because it showed zombie Captain America, and so that might be interesting. But so that one looks like it's going to be hit or miss for me. It looks like an anthology series.
It seems like because they don't have somebody like Dave Filoni or Favreau at the helm of the MCU, that it's just like kind of like, let's roll the dice and let's see what we come up with.
But Feige was doing a good job for a while. I don't know I don't know what's going on there, because the What If series should have been like, they should have did like every single one of the Marvel movies and been like, what happens if like Rhodey got captured instead, and instead of Tony Stark? That would have been like a good what if they wanted to do with the original series to play off.
Even, you know what? They've got, and this is what I always have said, and I get mad at, the source material is there. Why not take it and use it?
Yeah,
you own it, instead of taking something and taking the name, throwing comic books on the ground, and as I always said, pissing all over it and just saying, okay, let's just do our own.
There is literally 13 volumes of the What If series. There's What If Planet Hulk, What If Annihilation, What If Civil War, What If the Rise and Fall of the Shi'ar Empire for the X-Men, What If Spider-Man versus Wolverine. There was what happens if this was a Fantastic Four and it was who was it? Because that was a pretty cool one. I remember reading that one too. Okay, yeah. Here, what if this is a Fantastic Four and it was Spider-Man, Wolverine, Ghost Rider, and the Incredible Hulk? If they were the Fantastic Four, and I'm like on board. Like, that should have been a storyline. You know, they did these type of stories back then. Like when was what happens if like Punisher was like in the 1920s? Like, yeah, that'll be the Punisher with a Tommy gun. I'm on board. I'm back on board. So like, this is what they should have done. This is what they should have pulled. But it just looks like they were like what happens if, you know, weird to say is like, what if the Star-Lord was black? That's all it was. That's what it seems like. There's no real reason to do that. There's no deep storyline unless it's going to involve more of him. If he's actually from Wakanda, let's say if it's the Black Panther, instead of him becoming the Black Panther, instead he becomes Star-Lord. Now I'm on board. That's a good storyline. That's a what if. Like, what happens if Black Panther instead became Star-Lord? I'm fully on board with that story. but I don't think that's what's going to happen. I don't think that, honestly, I don't think that's.
So we got to push along because we've held on to this what if for a while. What if we move along because we're coming up on some time.
Okay.
And
the other
what
one
else is on there?
Hawkeye, which it's going to be a short series too, and it's actually current filming right now.
Okay.
So it's gonna be focusing on Hawkeye. But there's nothing more than that. Then there's Miss Marvel.
Shoot an arrow really good.
Yeah. Then there's Miss Marvel, which missed me with that noise too. She's supposed to be starring in Captain Marvel, like making an appearance in Captain Marvel, but this is gonna be like her origin story is this. And I'm sorry, guys. I know there might be some of you who are fans of Captain Marvel, but I am not. I collect, and you're like, well, you didn't read her comic books. I can pull out 6 trade comics that I have of her. Like I have up to volume 6 because I wanted to give her a chance, and I paid money to do so. And her storyline just gets so wonky. It started off good. The first volume, I think, is actually decent, really good, actually. I'll go on board to say that. 2 and 3, man, they start getting to some weird stuff. Like literally, there's a storyline, and where she fights not a guy who's called the internet troll, but a literal internet troll, like a troll who lives in the internet. And I was out. Sorry, guys, I was out. When you have a story then that's that one on the nose, and they stop it by like getting everybody to stop online bullying, and by doing a in real life meetup, I was out, dude. Like that can't be a storyline in your comic book, okay? I'm sorry. Your comic book should be punching like dudes in the face, not you trying to solve internet bullying, okay? That's and so on the nose. Again, the whole thing with writing. And that's when I started to know that there was so many holes in the writing. Like they nerf her powers like by the second volume. In the comic book, the first volume, they have her where she's able to shapeshift because she's able to collect her. She's able to control her cells on a molecular level, is what they say. So she's able to rearrange her cells so she can shapeshift. And because the first time she uses her power, she actually turns into Miss Marvel, the one wearing the black leotard and lightning bolt. That's who she turns into because she idolizes her. That's why she takes the name Miss Marvel. But she gets like in one of the comic books, she gets shot, and so she uses her powers to heal herself because she's healing, using controlling her cells to heal herself, and it takes away that power. She was also able to shrink. Takes away that power. She's able to make herself really big. They nerf that power, and so all she does right now is like make her hands really big and then punch people, which she refers to as embiggening. They nerfed her. Now she's just like a low, and in the video game, the Avengers video game, they just made her like a low budget version of Mr. Fantastic. That's all she does is just flail her like long arms and stretch. Like, no, like she had a pretty good selection of powers that they just took away. And after that, like she just wasn't interesting anymore. And then it just started focusing too much on like the will they won't they romances and stuff. It just became just not fun to read anymore. So I had to give up on it. So I'm not on board for that one. Sorry, guys. Tell me how it is.
Honestly, we don't care.
Then there's She-Hulk, which again, not the person who's the showrunner. I do not care for, and so I'm out on that one. Sorry, guys. If they would have got anybody else to showrun it and write the show, I might have given a chance. She-Hulk is one of the better tokenized characters. And when we talk about tokenized, like male to female or race swapped or something like Miles Morales or Batwoman and things like that. She is the better of all of them. She was always well written. She was actually really interesting character in that she had the powers of the Hulk, but she was smart and she was a lawyer, and so she would be like in the courtroom like as a giant green woman, and I'm like, I'm on board with that. And so, but it's just whoever the person they have show running and the person they have writing, I'm not on board with any of their nonsense, and so I'm out. Tell me how it is though.
Again, another one. I don't care. I don't want to know.
Okay, Moon Knight. I'm on board with Moon Knight though.
With who?
Moon Knight.
Yes, that I would be on board for, because that one is definitely, that was a comic book I read, and I loved it.
Moon Knight, if you guys don't know who Moon Knight is Marvel's version of Batman if he was crazy and thought he was powered by the moon god of Egypt. So, yeah, that. And he kills people. Not like Batman don't kill people unless you're Ben Affleck Batman. But if you're not Ben Affleck Batman, you don't, or Michael Keaton Batman because he blows someone up. But if you're not them and you're Christian Bale kills someone. Okay. The Batman from the animated series.
Adam West.
If you're Adam West Batman or the Batman from the animated, you don't kill people. But Moon Knight does. He has like these little moon-shaped shurikens and it like throws them at people's heads. He's dope. That's one you should be looking forward.
Yes.
They're doing Secret Invasion based off the comic book series. And it's supposedly not starring Nick Fury, which is the original Secret Invasion was really good. Really, really good. The fact that nobody knew that the Skrull were kidnapping people and then taking their place. They weren't refugees. Again, Captain Marvel, you're a horrible, horrible movie. You ruined the Skrull.
Yeah.
Stop it.
For those of you out there that don't know, the Skrull were bad guys in the comic book. So
they were super intelligent, very cunning, very resourceful. And they infiltrate like during like the Secret Wars. They were slowly sneaking people into the Marvel universe, and nobody knew except for Nick Fury because he's paranoid. And so I think if they go off the original Secret Wars, not the newer one, the Secret, I mean not Secret Wars, the Secret Invasion, and not the newer one, I think that's good. I think they'll have a good thing, especially with Nick Fury, because Nick Fury was the one who kind of pieced everything together before everybody did, because he's literally that dude who like thinks like everyone's like against him, and so he found out that everybody was. And
but the thing is that the Nick Fury of that time was white. You'd have to have David Hasselhoff back as Fury.
Oh gosh, David Hasselhoff. Forgot that exists. Oh, for you guys who watched the SpongeBob movie and that man that SpongeBob rode on as a surfboard, that's David Hasselhoff, and he was at one time Nick Fury. And
it was the greatest thing ever.
Was it a TV movie?
It was a TV movie on Fox.
Gosh. Oh man, I remember watching that one too.
He had that stogie in his mouth almost the whole movie and kept talking out of the side of his mouth. It was amazing. Oh man. Okay. You know what? We're coming up on our time. I think we're way past it because I haven't really been keeping track of it because we had that break, which we made. You guys may not know, but I went blackout. Sorry, I went blackout.
You can't do that anymore, dude. They don't allow you to do that.
I wasn't trying to.
Soul Man was the last time they let you do that.
I had a blackout. There we go. Went through a dead zone and lost some time, so I lost track of our time. But we are right now at 40 minutes, so I think prior to that was another 20 minutes, so that puts us at about our time for this episode, which we have a lot of stuff still to talk about. Yeah,
I didn't even cover Ironheart and Armor Wars, which do not care for either of them. Sorry, guys. Tell me how it is.
And again, for me, I don't care. Don't even bother telling me.
Leave it in the comments after you watched it. If we're still doing this, because all this stuff is 2022 and 2023.
Oh shoot, man! Let's hope we're still doing it by then.
If we're still doing it, leave it in the comments what you guys thought of it, and I'll be like, okay, cool, thanks. Because not worth my time.
But this has been actually it's been a lot of fun talking about this stuff. It's a lot of stuff coming up within the next 2 years, and it's all just from Disney, which is insane. Last episode, right? We talked about.
No, I think it was the episode
Warner
before
Brothers.
that.
Okay, episode number 1, we talked about Warner Brothers.
No, it was last episode. Never mind, it was last episode.
Oh my God, we can't keep track of our own episodes. One of our episodes, we talked about Warner Brothers.
Yeah, and
the list of stuff that they're bringing out, and more than half of that stuff, I don't even care about.
Yeah, this was a little more interesting.
Yeah, this I'm on board for. Both all the Star Wars movies and the Spider-Man movie, I'm totally on board for it and can't wait for a lot of that to come out. I mean, the list of stuff that Disney's going to be putting out is insane. And even the stuff that's not Marvel or Star Wars, they still have a lot of stuff they're going to be putting out. Yeah. And we'll see how it goes. You know, you got even Hocus Pocus 2, which for some reason I keep coming back to that. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm not on board for it. If you guys watch it, okay. I don't care.
They're doing that ridiculous thing about like you pay extra $30 to watch a movie. That Raya and the Lost Dragon. They're doing that too on Disney Plus. So again, don't care. Tell me how it is.
So, all right. Well, we didn't touch on Smallville on this episode. We'll hit it on the next episode. I kind of, because I knew driving was going to be an issue, didn't want to touch on it just because I didn't want to break and then forget where we were. This is a little bit easier to touch on. So I want to thank you guys for coming back and listening to another episode of us. You can catch us on YouTube for right now. Mm-hmm. We might be changing that up really soon. But that's the Geek Saga. And then we also can be, and you can leave comments. I messed up on the first one that we put out, and I got that fixed, and hopefully you guys got comments going. You can also catch us on Instagram at the Geek Saga. If you want to email us with maybe ideas about, another episode, give us some I guess ideas for comic books that are out there. Yep. Because a lot of the mainstream comic books are starting to die out. So if you guys got ideas for some more of the independents with good storylines that aren't politically pushed, I want something that I can just read and be like sucked into.
Here, let me see. There's one. What's it called? Yeah. What's it? Brutal.
While he's looking that up, you can reach us at the Geek Saga 20 at gmail.com. And that's pretty much it. Those are the ways you guys can get hold of us. Keep, liking, subscribing. And Jose, what's that comic book?
What is it called? Oh, I can't find it. He just what is it? I can't find the comic book.
Well, if he finds it, we'll put it in the comments. I'll put it up on Instagram so you guys know what he's talking about. But like I've said before, get out there, even during these times.
Oh, this is what it's called. I just found it. It's called Rainbow Brute.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Rainbow Brute. It's by Ethan Van Sciver, and it's an original series about like this guy who lives in fairyland, but he's just a Viking in like rainbow armor, and the dude is dope. And so and also check out his Cyberfog series too. Those are cool original series, especially the two newest ones.
Support him.
Yeah.
Because his stuff that he puts up on YouTube, we don't know how much longer a lot of this content's going to be able to be up on YouTube, but follow him, check out his videos. He's always got some great information.
Yeah.
And I love the guy.
Yeah,
don't know him.
Yeah, I don't know him, but he's really good. He gives a lot of great info about the comic book business. He's been in the business for, I think, 25 years. Ethan Van
He's a really humble guy.
Yeah.
Loves Star Wars.
His YouTube channel's Comic Pros Explain, right? Comic.
Yeah. Check him out. Watch him. Also, you know, when we mentioned other channels to watch that we get like some of our information, follow them.
Yeah.
Check them out because they always have great information too. You might even hear it before us. And, you know, you guys could message us and tell us, hey, hear about this. We'd love to find out more information. But again, Instagram, YouTube, and email. You can reach us in all these places. Send us send us comments. Send us, even if it's bad comments, whatever. I don't care. You're not going to hurt my feelings. But this has been fun. It's been great. Get out there, support your local comic book stores, support your local game stores.
Yeah.
In my area, we've got Gameology. Check them out. There's some tables that are there that I built, and I'm actually going to get them more tables and support them, especially right now. This is the time to get out there and help out the little guys.
Yeah.
So, as always, that's my little PSA, I guess we could say. You always have to battle, things to grow on. All those wonderful things. And, I guess that's it for us. I'm Eugene.
This is Jose.
And this is the Geek Saga.